Hey everybody, okay, I told you this would be different. This is different. These are our main metaphors for communicating the gospel to a bunch of kids that are from a local Thai school that'll be coming to our campus on December 7th. We're wanting to raise enough money to put on a real show for them. What we've realized over the years, we used to go out and give gifts and pray with them and play games, and that's not without value. But the kids didn't come away really understanding the gospel of Jesus and what he's done. They also didn't understand that actually Jesus is older than Buddha. They're Buddhist here, and they view Buddha as older than Jesus because he came first, except that Jesus is eternal. So we need to take Jesus all the way back to authority and kingship in the garden, and he's still the king all the way through his earthly ministry when he performs miracles, and all the way through his king. Are you trying to help me? I got some helpers out here. So, all the way through his new kingdom. So this part is part one. Thank you. You gonna put the snake back on? Thank you, sir. We got great kids. Next comes the snake, right? The fall. They're gonna see the garden, and there will be an angel that is dressed in black and black wings. It's symbolic, but he will eventually be thrown out of heaven, and he will pick up this snake, and the snake's going to be that symbol of Satan, the opponent. We get the promise that Jesus is going to defeat him. But we don't see it yet, right? So the stations go on. That's station 2. Then we go to the announcement, the angels appearing to Joseph or Mary and then Joseph. They get to hear that Jesus is coming. Then Jesus is born. That's station 4. When Jesus is born, we'll introduce the lamb, and we actually have a cafe here that's a local friend of mine, and I'm going to try to get him, if he'd allow us, use his live sheep for like a live nativity, except for the baby. The baby is definitely going to be plastic. We love our kids, but we don't trust them that much. So if we get a plastic baby to be Jesus, the interesting part is, as we move these groups of Thai students and a few of our elementary students through all these stations as they learn the story, they're going to be tracked with a God figure who wears the crown. When they get to the birth of Jesus, even though it doesn't fit very well with the Trinity, we're going to allow that God figure to disappear, and we're going to put a crown by the baby, as well as a lamb, and the lamb's going to become associated with Jesus, we hope. Also, the crown. He is God that came into the world. So we need people to understand that Jesus isn't just another teacher. He's not just even on the level of Buddha. He's above him. He's the creator. He's the eternal one, and he is coming back into earth and has been here for a while and left, and eventually we'll get to him coming back. So next part. After that, we'll go through some of the miracles of Jesus. We'll do calming the storm, because there's a lot of concern here about spirits being able to control your fortunes, control your destiny, control the weather, control whether you have babies or not. So we want them to see that Jesus is the God of nature. We also show a few other kind of quirky, modernized miracles. We'll have some volunteer kids from the crowd come out. They will either have their head covered or maybe their arm tied up. One will sit in a wheelchair and be rolled around. So it'll be fun engagement, so they're a part of the story. And we'll have Jesus come up and pretend to heal them, and a couple of actors will help them and get all excited like they were healed, and hopefully present the idea that Jesus has done more than just teach. He's actually a supernatural authority. He is the creator of the universe. After that, we eventually get to some people getting pretty mad at Jesus, and we go on to station, I think at this point we're at station 5. Station 5 is the cross. It'll be very mellow. Jesus will be pushed over, and he'll just grab the cross with his hands, and he will die. During this whole time, the explanation will come through a Thai script and a Thai-speaking narrator who will read it all to the kids, while our high schoolers and middle schoolers do all of the acting and anything that doesn't require the high-level, high-language fluency in Thai. We'll also have some of our kids will be guiding the group around and just kind of sitting with them, showing them how to listen and to have fun through it all. So after that kind of engagement of the miracles, Jesus dies. Then we'll bring Jesus over, probably about right there on the basketball court, to a rock formation that we used in a former play on our stage. And it'll be the rock that was rolled away. Jesus will be laid down on this strong table inside the tomb. And for an awkward amount of time, we will just let Jesus lay on that table for a very long time, and then we'll start pulling a snake across the front. This is symbolic, obviously. We're putting the symbol in and having a little liberty with scripture. So scary, but I hope it also gets the point across. The snake will come slithering across. Jesus rises quickly, sits up on the table. Hopefully it freaks the kids out only a little bit. He's going to throw off a white sheet, stand up, stomp on the head of the snake as it tries to slither up to him, and then he'll go back to the cross and pick up the crown that was actually traded for a crown of thorns during the cross scene. So his kingship was not given away, or at least he humbled himself for a moment, and we'll symbolize that with the cross being replaced with the crowns, but he gets it back at the resurrection. After that, he'll go meet with his couple of disciples. We'll probably just do 3. 12's too many for the size of the crowd we have. And then we'll have him actually ascend. I'm hoping to be able to put up right there on that railing you see. Right there I'll put up, I do a rock climbing class, and I've got a double pulley system that will allow me to pull on ropes and will actually physically ascend Jesus to the 2nd floor. He'll go up there, and all of these disciples then will have a little prayer meeting at the bottom underneath him. He's going to throw down, and this is another place we take liberties with the Trinity, but he'll throw down some headbands with fire on it. Now, throughout the entire play, both Jesus and the God figure earlier on will have fire emblems on their chest representing the Holy Spirit. So when he throws it down, it will be the same symbol, and the disciples will put it on their head. They'll begin to run around to these other actors who are stationed out front, and they'll be quietly explaining Jesus. The Thai script reader will explain what's going on and what's being said, and then Jesus will throw down more headbands for the people that then believe in him, symbolizing that Acts 2 moment where 5,000 people join the faith all at once. So once that's all done, Jesus is actually going to come back down from this 2nd railing. He'll come down on another rope. He will grab onto all these groups of people with the headbands and bring them up. He'll also invite the kids that are involved, the audience, so to speak. He'll invite them up to our 2nd floor. So it's really hot in Thailand. Most of the time we're moving towards winter, but there's no real winter here. That room is called the upper room. It's a fun room filled with some indoor play stuff, as well as we'll be setting it up as a music station. And oh, hi, there's my son. Oh, no, that's not my son. I thought you were Amos. Tricked me. I do have some kids around here somewhere. I don't know where they are. But when we get up into the upper room, it will be a golden floor and a throne for Jesus. He'll sit down on it. Remember, the same God, Jesus figure with the group all the way through. And it'll be a music station, so they get to engage with the music. It'll probably be a lot of percussions and craziness, and just let the kids play. They'll finish up by going to the playground and doing some guided games that will be based off of our symbols. So I want to give you one way that we've seen God at work that was a confirmation. Not so much provision, but confirmation. We got symbols of the crown. Gonna bring them up. Symbol of the snake. It's a puppet, so you can actually put it on your hands, kind of cool. And the sheep. And when we were considering how to communicate sin really well to kids, we were a little confused, like, how do we do it? They don't understand court and law, their Eastern mindset. So we looked at the sheep, and we decided, actually, this works pretty well if we go all the way back to the garden. So we're praying about how do we communicate that, and I end up at this yard sale that a friend was running, and he had this. It's actually a real sheep wool. It's the actual sheepskin. It's real leather. It's awesome. He gave it to me for about $10 when I told him the story. I was looking for confirmation on the sin thing. We got the actual skin. So the way we'll communicate sin is in the Garden of Eden, there'll be 2 trees. And we will have Adam and Eve cover themselves with the skin of a lamb. So actually the first time they see the lamb will be the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve will pull this lamb behind a kind of like a leaf wall, and then they'll bring up the skin as though the animal died, and they'll put the skin on themselves as a covering for their shame. So this is kind of an experiment. It's exciting because there's nothing like this. There's nothing that's highly visual, and I'm telling you, not only are people often illiterate in the villages where our missionaries are working, but the way they're presented the gospel is often not visual, and they tend to be more visual. So we're giving them a visual opportunity for the little kids. They get to engage in the actual story, and we hit these metaphors that will hopefully be easily taught again. So we want this to develop into not just one day. We want this to be something where our missionary community can come to the school and say, would you guys do your Bible story carnival? Would you come do that in my village? Would you come do that in our church? We're gonna have a barbecue. Would you? And we hope that as we train our high schoolers and middle schoolers to do this kind of work, they can do real ministry as kids to the unreached in our area. Now, they're already doing some ministry on our campus. 30% of our campus is unreached. They are from Thai Buddhist backgrounds, and many come to faith each year, a couple, 3. They're an under-reached people, especially our Central ties, who are less than 1% Christian of any kind. So yes to the school being a ministry, but we also want our kids to see some other elements of cross-cultural ministry and to rub up alongside some missionaries that are faithful people that will become like mentors for them. All of this is possible, but we've got to be able to do it in a way that our kids can do it, and I really want it to happen in a way where those that are participating of any age can have fun and fully understand the story in a way that's visual and doesn't require heavy reading. So I'm really excited for this. At the end of all of it, there's some games, yes, that reinforce the symbols. There's a crown game, there's a sheep game, there's a snake game, and they'll make a shirt that has all of those symbols on it: the crown, the sheep, I forgot them now, the snake, and the fire, the spirit fire. And then as they leave, they'll get a gift bag, and there'll be some fun little basic generic gifts that are a good time, but also they'll receive a little QR page that's for the kids. And they scan that and they get Superbook in the Thai language, access to that. The adults will have one as well if they decide to scan the QR, and they'll be given an adult version of the presentation of the gospel, which is, of course, it's a YouTube video series of about 6-7 minute videos. They're animated and they do a really good job of presenting Jesus. The next thing we have to develop, and I don't think we'll be able to do it this year, is a connecting church that has an active, growing, thriving children's ministry that wants to partner with us, and we can put an invitation to that church in our flyer or in our gift bag and invite that church to have their people here. Right now, to be honest, all the churches are really timid. They don't know what we are. They don't fully trust that they want to engage their people in this. So I'm praying that it goes well enough that we can do an interesting enough show and provide a quality product for the people that we're serving, that when that's seen by these churches and other ministry community people, that they'd be willing to get on board next year. So I'm really excited, obviously. We've been praying and praying. I've been praying with the 11th graders, and we've had about 3 moments of significant confirmation that makes us feel like we should press on. So we're believing in God, and we're asking you, if you would be kind enough to help us, if you would just listen to Simply God. If He's asking you to give and help us to do this, we do need at least 2,000 US. If we could get around 3,000 US, we could probably do a few special things for the kids that we're going to serve on this day. And those things could not be temporary, but we could buy permanent supplies that we can keep here, care for in large totes. And when we're ready to roll out to a village on a Saturday morning, we come load up the truck and drive out there, and our kids are ready to do real ministry to people that need Jesus. So if any of that is connecting with what God is calling you to, I'd love for you to give. There's an information that you can get from me or from a representative that gave you this video, but we do have a project open right now through Resourcing Christian Educators. And again, if you don't know me, I'm Troy Roberts. My wife is Cora Roberts. We are listed on the Resourcing Christian Educators, RCE website. You can find us that way. There's also a project called Community Outreach through Resourcing Christian Educators, and that's a way to give that's tax deductible and will be designated for these community outreach projects through our school, which is Chiang Rai International Christian School. So if you'd like to contact me directly, that's fun too. I'd like to get to know you. My inbox is always full, but if I see it's with somebody I don't know, I'll assume it's fun stuff and I'll talk to you. But my email is troberts@crix.asia. Again, troberts@crix.asia. That's TROBERTS@CRICS.ASIA. Crix, Chiang Rai International Christian School.asia. All right. I've taken enough of your time. God bless you. Thanks for listening. If nothing else, would you pray for us that the gospel would be heard and believed in northern Thailand, and God would see His kingdom built for the glory of Jesus. All right. Blessings. Bye.